Hello, my name is Maria Ayala, and I'll be doing the presentation on the secret message about women's role in society depicted in two cartoons. And I chose the cartoons of Cinderella and Snow White. My experience with these movies are from when I was really young. I wanted to be those princesses. I'm these princesses. I played dressed up. I wanted to look like them. And nowadays, our little girls are still going through the same process. The focus of this paper will be to uncover what are the messages that are going on in the secret messages that are going on in these movies. Like, what are the expectations of what a woman should be or what should they aspire to be? My goal is to find a specific inquiries for little girls or even grown-up women so that we could analyze how media can influence our vision of what a woman is. What initially prompted me to do this was because I really want our women to start developing, I mean, not to start, but to continue developing better critical thinking skills regarding how media can really influence our life choices. I've had this ever since I read Unlearning the Myths That Bind Us from Linda Christensen. And I thought that this was just such an interesting point when what she had argued in her article. And the research questions that are going to be guiding this work are like, how does media influence our education? How do these princesses influence young girls or grown-up women? What is the background from these princesses? And lastly would be, how should we encourage our girls or women to critically analyze cartoons? There are four parts, four sections. First, media and education, then Snow White, Cinderella, and their influence in women's education, the princess's background, and how to think critically about media. So the first section, I thought this quote from Christensen was really important. Industrially produced fiction has become one of the primary shapers of our emotions. I mean, in models, it helps us construct our emotions and our intellect in the 20th century. Although these stories are supposed to be merely entertain us, they constantly give us a secret education, which is the part that I want our girls to start really to inquire about and question. We are not only taught certain styles of violence, the latest fashions and sex roles by TV, movies, magazines, and comic strips. We're also taught how to succeed, how to love, how to buy, how to conquer, how to forget the past and suppress the future. I mean, there's so much influence here. And we're taught and lastly it states, we're taught more than anything else how not to rebel, how to just accept this knowledge. I really loved this quote and I thought it was just, I know it's kind of long, but I thought it was really important to include it in our presentation. And, um, and the fact that media is not just there to entertain us. Rome in 2013 had stated, media is more than just a window with a glimpse into reality. It is reality, which we can see in every day because of the influence the media has in our lives. The second section has to do with Snow White, Cinderella, and their influence in women's education. There are three ways that these princesses really do influence us. And there's a physical aspect, the cultural, and then the social expectations. Physical, like they all look like supermodels. Cultural, like what is the role of women in society? And expectations is that they should be good cooks, they should be and good at cooking, they should be good at cleaning, they should be needy, they cannot be independent. I mean, those are the social expectations of a woman according to these two princesses. Now, what are the princesses' background? I thought that this part was very interesting. And this is something that after doing a lot of research, I found out. Um, they're actually consistent with the time period that they were in which they were creating. They are following World War II and making them part of of women like middle class homemakers. And they're actually contemporaries of Walt Disney himself, and they're actually considered Walt Disney princesses. And in my project, I'm going to be explaining a little bit about that and how Walt actually perceived women back in those days. And the fourth part is going to be explaining how to think critically about media influences. And these two quotes, I thought they were very important. Disney has labeled themselves as vehicles for education and civic responsibility, just so you can see the level of influence that Disney has already acknowledged that they have. It's not that they acknowledge, but Giroux and Pollack had actually identified. And Disney's films have a deep and long-lasting effects on socialization and the development of identity for both self and other. I mean, the development of identity. It's just so important to see how much it has influenced. So what I would like for our students to do, our children to do, is to develop critical thinking skills, like to question this accepted knowledge, this secret education, not like the picture just that media feeds us from these ideas or this knowledge, but to question it and to provide our children tools to critique this media and to develop consciousness, not just superficial, but in-depth consciousness. And to take action about this. Like every time that they watch a movie or they even watch the TV or anything else, like what do they see now that they have the tools to critique media and to question its origins, its backgrounds? Where is this coming from? However, not all is lost. I would encourage you to watch this little short clip if you have some time. It's a clip from a little girl that is questioning some shirts, different shirts from boys and girls in a store, and what do they say. So I thought this movie was just so different and so polarized from what is it that I'm presenting here. And another thing is that Disney has been has had severe critiques regarding what I was just presenting, that they are starting to develop a different concept and a different role of women. And I'm encouraging you to watch this movie, I Am a Princess, which is really important too, really interesting too. So my conclusion has to do with even more questioning about what to question from media. How much have the princesses influenced, in the past and still do influence in the present? How should we always try to question its origins? Where is the information coming from? How does this affect me? And the importance of I thought this was very important, the importance of not letting children become passive observers. So thank you for watching this presentation. These are the references, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.